Hi, welcome to the build video for the quarter scale Balsa USA non-round cowl conversion kit. So the first step is to make sure you have all the parts you need. You should have 5 box parts labeled from 1 through 5. All of them have been designated with the front end, so it'll be easy to make sure you have everything in the right spot. You should have 6 pieces of triangle stock, 4 blind nuts, 4 washers, 4 lock washers, and 4 bolts. This will be all you need for this build, so let's go on ahead and get started. Okay, so one of the first things you're going to want to do is figure out which motor you're going to use and get the star mount ready. So what you want to do is you want to put the star mount in the exact center of where the motor mount is and hang on to it and mark your holes. So this will be where you drill your holes for your individual motor mount. So once you get that set up, go ahead on and drill your holes so that you'll be able to mount your star mount to the front of the mount. So you want to make sure you install your blind nuts for your star mount on the back side of the front motor mount, because you're going to want to make sure that your star mount gets mounted to the front. So make sure when you put your blind nuts in that you use the back side. Now let's move on to getting the box put together. So as you can see here, the configuration for the box is actually very simple. Part 5 is going to be the bottom. Part 2 is going to be the back side. You can see where everything matches up. There has been space left to run all of your wiring through on there. And then side 3 and 4 are going to be your sides. They have both been labeled for front. So you just fold them in just like this, and you can see that the number 3 is going to be the right side and the number 4 is going to be the left side. So now you get an idea of how it's going to go together. Let's start getting it put together. So now you can see I have number 5, which is going to be the bottom, and then number 2, which will be the back. You'll notice here that there has been an opening made or left so that you can put your electronics through here, and then simply take a square or a 1, 2, 3 block and make sure that everything is lined up and square on your table and everything is pushed forward and pushed down and flat and level. And then you'll go ahead and glue the number 2 to the number 5. So what I'm going to use to build mine is Balsa USA Gold Thick, and I'm simply going to get everything lined up on the table properly, make sure it's level. I'll just pull this off of here and put my thick on the joint right where I know it's going to touch. You don't want to go crazy at this point because you don't want a lot of spillover glue. Because you can always go back once you have the box assembled and add more glue for strength. Go ahead and put that in place. Make sure that it's level and up against. Hold it in place to make sure that everything is square. Once it's a little solid, you can go ahead and hit it with just a little bit of Balsa USA kicker. And then at that point, you should be able to pull your 1, 2, 3 block out of the way. So the next step is going to be pretty critical. You've already got your blind nuts mounted to the back of your firewall. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you do not glue the firewall in place. So be very careful not to get glue anywhere near the firewall, because this is what you want to be adjustable for when you get ready to put your plane on your motor on your plane. You want to be able to adjust this to get the proper fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a quick test fit, and again, it's very critical that you do not glue the firewall, which is part number 1, in place until you're ready and have it mounted to your airplane. So go ahead and check for fit. Again, make sure that your firewall is going to remain loose during this process, and then go ahead and glue in the number 4 piece. So gluing in these pieces, to ensure that I didn't get any glue on my firewall, what I did is I only placed glue on the ends. I left this middle section open so that I could put my firewall in that location, and I knew that I wasn't going to accidentally glue this firewall in. And then later I'll go back in with some thin and wick the thin in here to make sure that this has plenty of strength. I will do the same thing on the other side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test fit my number 3. You can see that it is labeled to the front. You can go in here and test fit, make sure everything fits correctly. And then I'm going to do the exact same process as I did before. I'm only going to place a glue on the ends, ensure that everything is butted up and square, and also make sure that I don't get any glue on my firewall here. So now you can see I have my electric conversion kit pretty much built up. The next step is going to be to make the adjustments when you get ready to install this on your plane for the proper depth that you are going to need to have. The last step is going to be to place the triangle stock inside the box and sand to fit, so that you have your proper distance from your firewall to your prop nut in the front. And you have enough triangle stock here to do both sides. I would recommend doing both sides. And then once you have that set up and you have this set properly for your airframe, then I would go back through and thin CA all of the joints all the way around, just to ensure that you have plenty of holding power. You can place the triangle stock on both sides, and you can also place the triangle stock, if needed, across the front. Once you get your distance set for your firewall and get ready to put this in your plane, then you should be able to get everything attached. And I would go back through afterwards and wick in some thin CA at all the joints, just to make sure you get a nice solid fit on your motor box. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for checking out this build video. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and happy building.